Alrighty, we are live. I think I've just been smiling away. Awesome. I am going to check on my phone. I have not been live in quite a while, so I am glad that I am able to be with you all on today. And what we're going to do, let me check here. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, so we are good to go. And we're going to get started as I'm waiting. Uh, I don't know if live takes as long some time for people to come on, but we're going to do that. And while I am here, I want to ensure that I share with you today we have launched the nonprofit summit registration. Yay! So let me share this. Okay. Da, da, da. Alrighty. Okay, so let me get to the greatness of what we're going to talk about today. Alrighty. So again, as I've stated, it has been a while since I've been live, and so I am glad to be with you. For those of you who do not know, I know I threw in a lot of things before I officially introduced myself, excuse me. I'm Shanquetta Cunningham, a CEO and operator of Caris Group Consulting, where our mission is to support nonprofit leaders to build great organizations in the areas of income, influence, and impact. And how I support organizations in doing this work is by strategic planning, leadership development, and grant writing. And coming up next year will be 10 years of doing this amazing work for extraordinary entities and groups of people who have a desire to be the hands and feet of transformation in their communities, and I get to support them in that journey. And so today, I wanted to just share something as this is the fourth quarter. We're wrapping up. Many of you are in your end of the year giving campaigns. And so I think it's really great while you may have your systems and software and you have your donor list and you're engaging and you're networking and you're going out to the many events and all of these great things. I just wanted to ensure that we understand the basics of what it is to garner support and how it can help us and our board members and those that we have empowered to support our organizations and in their ask of fundraising, in their fundraising ask, excuse me, and also volunteers, whatever that ask is. It's not just about having the perfected script. As you can see, you will mess up at times. It's not even about that you have targeted all of the wealthy donors or your consistent givers, and so that you have a rhythm. All of this is necessary and needed. So I don't want to disregard those things in any form because they are all a part of this checklist. But what we often forget about again is the basics of where does the courageousness, right, come from to ask people to give up their talents or their time. In this instance, what I want to talk about today, their treasure, their funding to support your work when there are a plethora of organizations to support. Before that, I get to that, I want to go back to something I just said, and then I went on because I could just zoom through things. Y'all, we have launched registration for the 2024 Nonprofit Summit. I can hear the band playing right now. So I am so happy. This is the 8th year of the summit, and I am just blown away by the theme, what God is going to do for nonprofit leaders next March. It will be March 8th, 2024. The theme this year is the economy of impact, the learning from the principles of multi-million dollar leaders and their organizations. This year is so intentionally aggressive when it comes down to talking about funding and money. I know, like you attend a number of organizations and nonprofit conferences and workshops and webinars because we are all in this continual stage of professional development and learning. But let me tell you what God just really gave me to do and to set out for this year, that we have to become comfortable with having the conversation of money, which goes to our topic today about having the confidence and conviction with our nonprofits and our causes. We are struggling as a body with our nonprofit organizations, and it should not be a punishment for people to choose to work in the public sector but feel as if they have to give up prosperity or engaging in conversations about wealth as it relates to nonprofits. Now, we know that a nonprofit is a public entity established that addresses a cause in education, social justice, economic development, religious, right? There's been a problem identified in the community, and a group of people have come together and saying that we are prioritizing to address this problem over the profits that we make. It's not about us getting to $20 million so that we can give out Christmas bonus checks. It is, however, about utilizing all the tools, which is the public, and their amazing donations and support so that we can collectively address these causes. And while we are pushing our missions forward, and while we are talking about the work that we do, we are also having the silent cries of the lack of funding and having to do 10 things with just one person, or having to serve and grow in the outreach that you have in serving customers, I'm sorry, or clients, or just those that are in need of your target population, but you can't hire anyone else, or you're having to let go of people. And so, how do we get from this false narrative, right? That in order to serve, that we have to suffer? No, that's not actually the design. It's the design that we've, as a culture, I would say in philanthropy, have bought into. There's some outliers, though, that have said, no, we're not going to accept this narrative. We are going to disrupt narratives that nonprofits cannot be profitable. So, with that, that is exactly what we are going to address at the 2024 Nonprofit Summit. Every speaker that will stand on the stage will be from leaders, well, you will hear from leaders that have founded and or lead million-dollar organizations. Because sometimes, all the time, right? You need to see it so that you can believe that you can become it. And then, equally or most important, right? You need to hear right from their experiences on how they were able to build such an organization or lead it or sustain it. So, at this year's conference, it's our 8th year. You do not want to miss this. We're bringing in the heavy hitters so that you know, and I'm just a firm believer that when God places you in proximity with individuals that have gotten to levels that you aspire to be, it's not to put bait in your face or make it so unattainable that all you need is in the room, and the encouragement that you need is right in front of you, or that you can touch and that you can speak to. And so this is why I'm so excited to bring this opportunity to you. It will be held March 8th. Registration is open on the page, but let me do one even better so that you all that are here can go ahead and register at the early bird rate, which is at $99. I'm putting it right there in the chat so that you can go ahead and register. And you want to register before December 31st at the $99 rate, because guess what? After that, starting January 1st up until the end of February, it goes to its regular rate at 147. We're going to have a fireside chat with amazing nonprofit leaders as well, and philanthropists who are wealthy. And we're going to talk to them so that we can understand what it is that they're looking for when they want to support nonprofit organizations. Let's hear it from the individuals that give. But all of these individuals that will be speaking are people of great financial status that leads organizations of great financial status. And so we're going to have our nonprofit pitch competition. To date, we have given nearly $4,500, well, let me say, awarded to brave nonprofit leaders who stood up before their peers and pitched their missions to win the $1,000 grand prize. And we're going to have a meet and greet, also breakfast and lunches included. We have a number of giveaways during the event, so it's going to be epic. So I just had to make sure that I say that, you all, that registration is open now at $99 until the 31st. So that's happy holidays from us. After that, if you wait, January 1st, it will go to its regular price at 147. So let me get to the great content that I want to share with you about raising money, or even in anything that you ask with your nonprofit. Because your nonprofit, let me tell you something right now as leaders, I'm going to encourage you to get comfortable with asking. Because here is the great thing that you decided when you started a nonprofit or decided to work with a nonprofit, that you were going to be in partnership with the public to address a community phenomenon. While you would do the everyday work, you were going to utilize the purse and the coins of the community, of grant organizations, of supporters to help you in this space. So they need to know that you exist. They need to know how they can help you. But it's not a directive. It's not something that you force anyone to do or that you tell people to do. It's not, you should help me because I'm a nonprofit. It's, we are doing this great work in our community. We're addressing homelessness. We're helping our children read. We are ensuring that women have a safe place. And so that's why we have this shelter. We are supporting the end of life and ensuring that our seasoned individuals have open spaces to go and communicate and network with other people that are seasoned. Whatever your cause is, it's for the community's good. And the community need an opportunity to support that. And so, while again, you can have the software, you can have the donor list, you can have the perfect draft emails and subject lines, you can attend the events and all of these great things that are necessary in fundraising, in hitting your end of the year fundraising goals. You also must be able to walk into the room knowing your stuff and knowing that you are the woman or man that has been commissioned for the mission. You can easily tell when someone is speaking and they lack the confidence. to articulate what they're speaking of, the struggle that they have, that it makes it unbelievable because it takes confidence. It takes that strength to say, my personality leads me away sometimes from wanting to publicly speak or have this one on one or even ask or share about our mission. But the purpose in which I do, it must override my personality. So the confidence has to arise that you need to be bold and sure that the work that you do is helping and transforming the lives of others. But that's the thing. Ensure that you're doing the work. It's not the idea of what you have to do, it's what you are doing, and people can align with you financially to help you do more. So you need the conviction as well of your mission. While I'm a nonprofit consultant and work with a plethora of nonprofit organizations and communities, I too have a nonprofit that works with a group. And when I speak about that nonprofit, I always encourage, and this will go for any nonprofit leader. You're here now. I'm going to also share with you a great tip when you are communicating in a one-on-one conversation or a large audience. Have two facts and two stories about the work that you do. You should know the environment, know the data. If you are helping young children to read and have a tutoring program, you need to know the literacy rate of your community. You need to know the literacy rate of your state, and then in comparison to the literacy rate of the nation. You need to have the data that supports your cause. Have two facts. How many people have you helped? How many people have you mentored? How many individuals have received products or toiletries if you have a give back program to families? But you need to know that information so that people can actually visualize what their support will mean. So, two facts and two stories. And then have the conviction. When you talk about the work that you do, draw it into them as to and sharing why did you start it? Why did you decide to take this role? Why this mission? Because I will tell you this, even if this is a great position and you're making great money as an executive director or funding director or development of fundraising or whatever your title is with your nonprofit, and it's a great role, and you may have now been in 3 or 4 different positions in philanthropy, there is something that draws you to philanthropy. Because what we know now is that there is no amount of money that can keep you in spaces that you do not want to be at. So when you share, even if this is a promotion or this is a promoted role, whatever that is, or you're just starting out, share with conviction and passion. That saying, hey, if I had the money, I would do this without asking for one single dime. If I could take care of it all, if I could address this mission in our community. But this tax exemption status allows you to extend the opportunity and to share with great passion is to say, hey, because we're doing the work, this is what happens to our community in 10 years when we don't address this cause, when we don't support these people. And it doesn't have to be morbid, it could also be with a smile on your face. We get to ensure that those at the season end of their lives and those seasoned individuals get to be a kid again. What if you have a nonprofit that supports, with geriatrics and gathers people over 70 years old and they can come and have fun and get free water aerobic lessons and we get to see the smile of their faces, or we get to host these holiday gatherings and they get to bring in their grandchildren and they're running around and playing. Wow, you should just see how they light up. Whatever that is, share it with conviction. No one has to give anyone anything. So, as you are asking, because everyone should be asking for support at the end of the year, because statistically, and the data supports that the fourth quarter and specifically the months of November, December, and December are key fundraising months for nonprofit organizations. So, this is the time to ask, to share with confidence of the work that you do, to know that you've been called and assigned in this season and in this moment to lead the charge, to get other people to support you to do work in your community, your shared community. Don't leave out that part when you're talking to other individuals. You're not on an island. When you're talking to local donors or prospect donors, make sure that you keep using the word we in our community and our impact that we can do together. That you'll do the everyday work with their donation. Have the conviction in sharing that what is going to happen when they support you, they will be able to feel safer. They will be able to go to sleep at night knowing that they may not can devote their lives to servicing people every day like you get to do in your nonprofit, but they do get to see transformation every day because you're going to make sure that they're up to date with what's going on in your organization by financially supporting you. Leaders have to have confidence and conviction. So I hope that you were able to take some nuggets. Thank you for the comments that I see as well from today's conversation. And one of the things that I know can really trip up leaders, and especially if you're not comfortable with asking, or board members, is that we try to perfect our conversation. As you can hear, you're going to mess up. There will not be a perfect delivery, but no one is perfect. But when you are passionate, it will resonate. When you have your points, your two facts and two stories, and then you simplify how people can donate to you, that's letting them know they can send a check, that you easily have a PayPal or a Give Butter, or some type of fundraising software. I'm not going to say, um, well, let me not do that. I do think you should have professional forums when you're doing a real campaign. It's one thing for people to purchase tickets from you using, like everyday Cash App or something of that nature. But when we're fundraising, let's, at least use the basics of a PayPal if you do not want to invest in another software. And I'm just saying that as a consultant. If there's anyone else that uses things, something else, and that's free and little to no impact, or something that you do that you utilize that is subscription based and a fee based, and you want to share, please drop that in the comments as well. But I do want to ensure that you are empowered and to know that you got this. Have the confidence. You may think on some things that you should have said when you walk away. Okay, write it down so that you can include it in your pitch next time. So just go out. And for those that are continuing to do this, and I work with organizations and have inherited nonprofits, and not in the sense of you own it, but as far as the roles, let me say that you're the new ED, or you're the new funding director, or the new board president. These things still reign true. You need the confidence and you need the conviction, because sometimes we can easily get settled in people that are already donating and don't expand our wings to attract new donors or new grant funders. And so this message is applicable from the novice leader to the experienced leader, that you need confidence and you need a conviction at any and every stage of your leadership. So I hope you have enjoyed today conversation. We're at the 25-minute mark, so that is my cue to let you all go so you can wrap up your end of the day with your work. And as well, remember the 2024 Nonprofit Summit. The registration is open at the early bird rate of $99. I need to see you there. I need to see you joining you and the 99 other anticipated nonprofit leaders. We are expecting 100 plus nonprofit leaders at this event, and I'm hoping I can come back and tell y'all to say, hey, okay, we maxed out at 100. We may need to find another venue. Those are great problems to have, right? So go ahead and register at the $99 rate. Remember that confidence, conviction will take you a long way, along with the other things that you do to attract funding to your nonprofit. And I will see you next time. Share the video with other nonprofit leaders, with your board members, with your volunteers, anyone that works in this space, your fellow peers. Sharing is caring. And I believe the best success is shared success. All right, until next time, you all have an amazing day. And I'm so grateful for the work that you do each and every day to transform your communities.